Hi, everyone. Well, it seems after 3 years, the COVID bug finally caught up with me. So I'm out this week, and that's a sad thing. I like to be at the church with you guys, but this too shall pass, right? So, anyways, our readings for this Sunday are very powerful. Um, the Isaiah prophecy is very famous because it's chosen at funerals a whole lot, where the prophet says that on this mountain, which is in the mind of the Israelites, is Mount Zion, the very center of the world, the very focal point of God and his promises. He's going to prepare a feast, a great feast, full of fatty meat and food and rich wines and what have you. And that is really a description of paradise. It's sitting around the table with the Lord, with at meals together. It's a joyous time of relationship. It's something we look forward to. Now, I think we need to look forward to this far more than what we do, and we see this with regard to um, our deepest longings. We got to get in connection with it. What do we really want in this life? Well, we really want immortality, and it's what the prophecy talks about. It says that God is going to swallow up the veil that covers the people. And in this context of God swallowing up death itself, it's probably a death shroud because death in the Hebrew world was Mot. Mot was the name of the god that that is a chaos monster whose maw is huge and he'll eat and devour everyone, and that's it. And uh, this whole thing about a shroud is very interesting because nothing could be more sad than a shroud, right? Um, and it covers the face of the people. You could see the shroud over the face of the dead person. It just, it's a scene that's been relived for every human being. I mean, it's just awful. But he's going to destroy this. He's going to swallow it up instead of the death monster swallowing us up. God's going to swallow up the death monster. And so that's our hope. And we believe that we were made for immortality. We know this. It's not just a wishful thinking. It's something we know because God has spoken this to the depths of our hearts. And so we look forward to a feast, but we have to prepare for it. And that is part of that is just embracing the salvation that we have in Christ, who did swallow up death, as Paul says in Corinthians. And proud death is swallowed up by what Christ did on the cross. And in swallowing up the death shroud, it just reminds me of the shroud of Turin. That God left this for humanity to see the visible proof of this thing. It's not just it's not just some hope, um, that is wishful thinking. So, anyways, we have to prepare ourselves by embracing the salvation that we have in Christ. And then Paul tells us in Philippians that, we have to be indifferent to transient things of this world because if we're focused on the transient things of this world, we'll never make it to the banquet. And this is a further attested to in the gospel today because the king makes a feast. And back in the day, and even is today, I mean, really, if one of the kings of Europe or queens of Europe should invite you to a dinner, delivered by some coachman or something on a silver platter, would you say, nah, I'm too busy? It's absurd, isn't it? Yeah, and so this whole thing has a touch of absurdity to it. Why would we not embrace the invitation? It doesn't make sense. And that's the irony of the gospel. It's because people are so caught up in transient things passing in this world. We've got to let go of that. And part of that letting going is getting prepared to be dressed for the ceremony. At the end of this parable, there's a shocker. There's this guy sitting in there among all the people, and he's not dressed well, you know. Um, and so the king comes in there and says, hey, why are you dressed well? And he doesn't really have an answer. And so he says to his servants, go bind him and throw him in outer darkness. It seems kind of, you know, especially in our culture where we have become so casual. I know that's the hippie movement of my time, Hey, why not have, jeans that are ripped with holes in it and, a t-shirt to come in and I'm worthy as I am to be dressed any way I want to because that's, but that's not the gospel. We have to be dressed. And that is taking the righteousness of Christ upon ourselves. Since the garden, when Adam and Eve made their own clothes out of fig leaves, there's been a an arrogance in humanity that we can just come to God any way we want to, you know. But God had to provide these skins, and implied is there had to be sacrifice to be clothed with God, a sacrifice on God's part as it is in Christ, but also on our part. For he who overcomes, in the book of Revelation, will be given a white robe. Sorry, my friends, heaven's not a casual affair, and our masses are not a casual affair. They have to be according to the dignity of the mass. Okay, we're coming in the presence of a king, and to be casual, at least in attitude, is just not proper. What if a governor would come and invite you in, what would you do? You would dress, wouldn't you? Be appropriate. So, how much more for the King of the Universe? So, anyways, that's pretty much it. I got. So I don't know if I'm going to see you on Sunday, but I'm sure it will happen. It'll be fine. God bless you. We'll see you on Sunday. If I don't see you, Father Patrick will.